What's up guys, Dr. Aaron McNally here with Revival Performance Physical Therapy, and today I'm going to be showing you guys a little warm up for before you're running, but it's also just an exercise to kind of engage these hip abductors and help you with that hip drop. So if someone's told you that you have a little bit of hip drop, which means when you're on that one leg, this hip kind of pops out and that hip on the other side drops down. So what happens, why that happens for most of the time is because these muscles over here, your hip abductors, so they're attaching from here down to that bone right there on the hip, and what they do is they keep your pelvis level in this position, and if they're weak and they can't contract here very well, then they'll let that other hip drop. So when you're running, that can cause, with running, it could be here, you're stepping on that left side, and then this side's dropping, it's rotating here, you're stepping on the other side, it's dropping, it's rotating, dropping, and these guys are weak, so it's the hips. So with runners, almost all of us have some weak gluteus medius or gluteus minimus and maximus, all these guys over here on the side, because most runners go forward, we don't do much lateral movement. So working on those to make sure that they're nice and stable in the hips and the knees, ankles, and the core can really help protect you from injury down the road. So you may notice that it's dropping. If you notice that when you go here and it's dropped, and then you kind of kick the inside of your leg on one side more than the other, or if on both sides, then it's probably because of some weakness in the hips here. So you're going down, and then as that drops, and now that leg kind of goes in, you land, leg goes in as you pull in. So a way to warm up before you start your run, or just doing the exercise to kind of engage these guys, is before you start actually running, is you step and then over-exaggerate pulling that hip up. So you'll feel that a little bit in some of your core muscles as well, but you should be feeling that over here. You're not right away. And then you land, or you kind of land on this other side, and you're over-exaggerating pulling this hip up. Land, pulling that hip up. So it's kind of the over-exaggerating the opposite of that drop. So without those muscles engaged, that hip's gonna drop. With those muscles engaged, it's gonna stay level. And if you're over-engaging and really contracting those, then it's gonna hip hike. So doing this before your workout or before your run is you just go here and hike, here, hike, here, hike. I know it looks like a funny little dance, but here, hike, and then you can do that into a little bit more of a run. So here, hike, and then you kind of do just like that, over-exaggerating that hip movement in the hiking position instead of that dropping position. So do that before you run for maybe 10 to 40 yards or so, just to engage those hip abductors, and you'll notice a big difference with time as those guys getting stronger, and even on that run as those guys are a little bit more engaged before you start running. So do the prescribed route, have fun.